Listen to me. If there was a wise man who would ever think of this, they would say in order to be superior to the man, you've got to be the man. For I am the man himself.
Yikes. Wow. Today, June 1st, 2025, is kind of a sad day in a little bit of ways for some wrestling fans. Because today it was announced, well, there was a big one. I'm not saying both of these aren't big, but two superstars in WWE announced today that their contracts will not be renewed, and they will be departing WWE very soon. One of them I know they said is within 2 weeks. The other one I'm not sure. It could be immediately. I don't know if it has happened, if it is done for sure or not, or if it did expire today, or what the case was, but it was definitely confusing. But I will talk about both of them right here tonight. The first one, though, I will get to first because I don't have quite as much to say. The other one was definitely the big inspiration for this video. But out of disrespect, I couldn't talk about the other one first. So, the second name, and the not saying not as big, but the one that didn't surprise me as much, Carlito. So, it was announced this evening, Carlito had posted on Twitter that his contract is expiring in 2 weeks, and his contract will not be renewed, which that could mean possibly, not getting my hopes up, because I've been waiting for this team to disband for the longest time. That could mean within the next couple of weeks, we could be seeing the breakup of the Judgment Day. But yes, Carlito will not be re-signing a new deal, and he's getting ready to depart from the WWE for the second time in his career. Carlito, Carribean Cool, came back to WWE actually originally in 2021 in the men's Royal Rumble match as a surprise appearance. He looked great shaped, jacked and everything, and he disappeared again. And then he had that awesome return at Backlash in 2023 in Puerto Rico during the famous, probably one of the best celebrity matches, the Puerto Rican street fight, whatever it was called, between Bad Bunny and Damian Priest. Carlito returned then, and he made his official full-time return at Fastlane in 2023. Is when he returned. During the match, he was the mystery partner with LWO versus the Pride, if I can remember. He made his surprise return there, and he's been back full-time since. Now, he was with LWO until they, out of the blue, turned him heel, and then he got drafted to Raw, and he's been Judgment Day ever since. My guess is the reason why that he's probably being told now his contract's not going to get renewed is because of the story going on with the Judgment Day, where it's obvious that Finn is playing some mind games with Dominic Mysterio like a fiddle, especially when they inserted Roxanne Perez into the picture recently, as obviously Finn's doing that storyline-wise to kind of get somebody else tempting to get into Dom's head, as Dom's already gone from Rhea to Liv, and now, this could be something with Roxanne, who the heck knows, but she's going from tendies to chicken nuggets, just to make a little jab there, but obviously, though, once Judgment Day does disband, what really is there for Carlito to do? And I like Carlito, don't get me wrong, but he's 46 years old. he hasn't won many matches since he came back. I mean, I don't think he expected to, obviously. But is there really anything else for him to do? So, like, I wish he would have gotten a little bit more out of this run when he came back, honestly. I know that he kind of, like, well, he was kind of like what his original character was when he was a face with LWO. But as a heel, he's kind of been like a totally different character. Like, he's mostly been there just to eat some pins for Judgment Day. He really, again, hasn't done too much. So although it's cool to see him back, what does he really have on the table? Like, what is he really going to do at this point? Just saying. So that one didn't surprise me as much. I mean, it's sad. Like I said, I was hoping to get more out of Carribean Cool while he was here. But it looks like they're not going to go any further with this, and there really isn't anything for him to do outside of Judgment Day. So like I said, with Judgment Day probably about to disband, probably a good time to just wrap it up with him and let Carlito go. So Carlito is going to be departing in 2 weeks. Now, the biggest news, the one that surprised me the most, and everyone the most, and of course it was very confusing. I'm going to pull up the tweet here. So earlier today, I was driving to my friend's sister's birthday party with my wife and my son. And I forgot where she had first seen it, but my wife then said she saw somewhere online that R-Truth had gotten released. And I thought she was joking with me. I thought it was a hoax. I also thought, what if this was part of a storyline? Which, honestly, if it would have been, it wouldn't surprise me. But with what's going on, if they would pull this off as a work, it'd be shocking. Because, like, R-Truth could be getting April Fool's Day wrong, or it could be R-Truth teasing a heel turn. But for now, I'm 99% sure this is real. But R-Truth, Ron Killings, did post a tweet about 13 hours ago this afternoon and said, "I'm sorry to inform you all, I just got released from WWE. I want to thank WWE for the ride, but mostly I want to thank each and every one of you who was along for the ride. Thank you for all the love, support, and appreciation you have given me over the years. Thank you." And of course, the outpouring, support by all the superstars and the fans, for R-Truth especially, have been incredible. Now, before I get to the positive side, let me talk about the backlash part about R-Truth's release. There's a lot of people, superstars and fans, that are looking at R-Truth as saying, if he can get released, then nobody is safe. Well, here's where I do kind of agree. I did feel R-Truth was a WWE lifer. I did think he was the type of guy, he'd have a job forever. He'd be the type of guy that even if they had nothing left for him to do, they probably would find some occasional comedic appearance to do here and there, probably some sort of a behind the scenes role or something like that. R-Truth has felt like he was set for life in WWE. He has been a committed babyface for 90% of his run in the company. He was briefly a heel, which honestly, that still was probably his best work, was when he was a heel in 2011. Definitely his best run for sure. Even though you can say, I would probably say, since 2017, I've liked R-Truth. But I'll explain that why in just a second. Let me get to, the backlash side. So, I can understand, why a lot of people feel they thought, a lot of people, including me, thought R-Truth had a job for life. That, unfortunately, was not the case. So I understand, and of course, how beloved he is. I can understand why people are just hating on the company. At first, I was too, not gonna lie, because I thought this was them actually releasing him. But even I thought, is it strange they're announcing this on the first day of the month? They just did 10 releases just a couple weeks ago. That's when I started thinking, what if this isn't a release and this is his contract expired? Which later on, they did announce that his contract is not going to be getting renewed. Now, when it actually expires, I don't know. They haven't been clear about that. It might have already expired. But it isn't, for what I can tell, it isn't a release where he has a 90-day no-compete clause and all that jazz. No, which honestly, I would rather have it this way, where his contract expired and he chose not to renew it, than for him to get released. If he got released, then I'd be a lot more upset and saying that's totally disrespectful. But let me be 100% honest. As much as we love R-Truth, he's 53 years old. Like, and he's been mostly a comedy act during his time in WWE. And yes, there's been a lot of times, like I said before, I didn't like R-Truth until like 2017. Because again, I wasn't watching when he had his heel run in 2011, but that's definitely, in my opinion, because I've gone back and watched some things, that's definitely his best run. He could have been a world champion from that gimmick in 2011 he had, with the little Jimmy gimmick and the "you gonna get got" and whatnot. And even, of course, him and Miz as Awesome Truth was an awesome team. Unfortunately, of course, that got cut short, and unfortunately that was on Truth, because they were supposed to win the tag titles, and they were also supposed to win that tag match against John Cena and The Rock at Survivor Series. But then they had to lose and then drop the act the following night on Raw, because R-Truth had to get written off TV because he got suspended for a month for violating the wellness policy. So unfortunately, the plug got pulled on him, and he kind of went into obscurity for a while. And when I first started watching wrestling, his gimmick he's had, his comedy gimmick, I thought it was annoying. It wasn't funny until he started up the storyline with Carmella. When he was going around saying on SmackDown, going, "I'm going to pin Carmella. And then when he picked her up off camera and she goes, "Truth," he goes, "That's what's up." I think I was like, okay, maybe Ron Killings is actually pretty funny. I didn't catch on to it now. And he's done some really hilarious stuff. And, awesome stuff as well. Even when I did my 24 reviews, you go back and you watch his 24, he had quite a story. He didn't grow up in the best area. He had to rely on selling drugs to make the money he needed to make for his music. And of course, wrestling was not his first love, but I forgot who it was now. It's been about a month or two since I watched it. But through a mutual connection, I believe it was through a friend of one of his cellmates, I believe it was, that thought that he would fit well in the entertainment industry. And, he was, when he came in originally in like the late 90s as K-Quick with Road Dogg as his tag team partner, left for a while, went to NWA and TNA, killed it there, then came back in like 2009 or 2010, I think it was. And then he's been there since. He's had a total run of 17 years with the company. And that's another reason why I would think it would be a disrespect to actually release him. But like I said, let his contract expire, I think, is the most respectful way. Because like I said, what is there left for him to do? I mean, he made the 24/7 championship stuff the best he could. I mean, that title was just horrible, but, he made, the best he could of it. He's not going to be a world champion. That's for sure. Honestly, him having a match with John Cena for his farewell tour probably would be the highest point you could get him right now. I mean, really, if they really wanted to do like anything else with R-Truth, they should just turn him heel. But same time, he is loved by like everyone. Like, for crying out loud, they had an off-script birthday celebration for him on SmackDown like 10 years ago was, and like I feel like that's someone like it's hard to turn him heel with how loved he is. It's like, even though like you knew he wasn't going to be a main eventer, he was still like a lightning in the bottle and a national treasure. Someone who didn't need to be a world champion to be a future Hall of Famer. R-Truth is going to be in the Hall of Fame. No doubt about it, for sure. It's just sad that, someone you thought that was going to be a lifer, unfortunately, is not. I mean, he could make sporadic appearances. Maybe eventually they'll sign him to a Legends deal. But again, He's 53 years old. What else is there really for him on the table right now? And how can you top off a match with your childhood hero, John Cena? My wife's also bummed that she didn't get to purchase a Ron Cena shirt. But yeah, definitely sad for R-Truth for sure. That one definitely stunned me the most. Like I said, if they released him with the 90-day no-compete clause and all that severance package and whatnot, I would have probably been a little more pissed. I'm like, WWE, what are you thinking right there? But again, I do think that the respectful way of saying we really don't have anything to do for you anymore, I think it's time to move on. I can respect that. It still just sucks though. And it definitely hurts to hear, and we weren't expecting it too. Like, he just had a segment on SmackDown on Friday when he got Jacob Fatu of all people to break character, and of course, you know, his run with Judgment Day, and even of course leading to his big WrestleMania moment, WrestleMania 40, when he won the tag titles for Awesome Truth. That was definitely, of course, an amazing moment for sure there, and I'm glad he got to have that moment as well, because like, if you R-Truth, one again the most beloved like low card guys who the Hall of Famer again could have gone a whole career without WrestleMania moment, that would have been sad. But he got it. So I'm going to miss Truth. Definitely will. Maybe again he'll make a sporadic appearance here and there. Because like I said, I really like at 53 years old, what's he really going to do? I mean, I think if he would go anywhere else, I feel like he would go to TNA. I feel like TNA would be a better fit for him. Don't go to AEW, Truth. It's not worth it. Carlito, I don't know. Would he go to TNA? Would he wrestle for like a Puerto Rican indie show or something? I don't know. Like I said, he's 46. Like, does he really have anything else to offer either? But we'll see. But definitely both of these men, I wish them both the best in what's next for them. I appreciate what they've done for the business, the roles they played. And yeah. So what are you guys' thoughts on this? What are you guys' thoughts on the Carlito and R-Truth departures from WWE? Again, Carlito is going to be departing when his contract expires in 2 weeks. Like I said, probably going to be written off when Judgment Day implodes. R-Truth looks like he's not going to be back on TV before he leaves. And when he leaves, I don't know when his contract for sure expires. I did check again as of 12:30 a.m. on June 2nd. He has not yet been moved over to the alumni section yet. So we'll see whenever that happens. It would be nice, honestly, if R-Truth especially, they let him kind of like come out and get to say goodbye to the fans or something. But, you know, it may not happen. Maybe he does not want that to happen. Who knows? Whatever it is, I respect it. And again, I'll definitely miss both these guys. But again, what are your guys' thoughts on both of these releases? Leave your guys' thoughts down in the comment section below. Slap a like on the video and subscribe for more content on my channel. Follow me on Twitter as well at the Club of the Man 93. You may also follow me on TikTok and on Instagram at the Club of the Man 1993. And until then, guys, I'm checking out. I'll catch y'all later. Have a great rest of your night. And do not forget, in order to be superior to the man, you've got to be the man. And for I am the man himself. And that is not just an opinion, my friends. That is a fact of life. Yeah!